All right, thank you, folks. We are live with the second Tier 3 game of the evening. We're going to be having True Alphas versus Bleeding Lizards. This will be Bleeding Lizards' first game. They had a bye last set, so this is the second game of set 2. But this will be Bleeding Lizards' first game. They will be facing a other team that was technically in the league last season. Whereas Bleeding Lizards has a few members that were in last season, but it's a brand new team altogether. Today with me, I will have Ginger Healer, or Tay, as we'll probably refer to her as during the stream, because half the time we refer to her by her real name. If you want to say hi.
Hey.
We'll also have Forsaken Bacon as my co-host, as casters for tonight. Tay will take care of any Twitch stream comments and probably a lot of our Discord stuff internally. So if you end up having a Twitch stream comment and we don't end up getting to it right away, we'll probably try to get to it in between rounds, in between maps, maybe longer team fights, etc. So I hope we end up having some fun. So we're actually following the same maps that we actually ended up doing earlier this afternoon, which was Oasis is our first map. And we're just going to wait for a ready from every single one of our captains. If you can actually just confirm, I know we got True Alphas ready already. If you can actually make sure that Bleeding Lizards is ready, we'll head forward. There, Tay.
I can't type in the chat.
You can't... Ah, dang it. That was my bad. I forgot to add you into it.
Wow, Sai rooting for Bleeding Lizards, what a loser.
Huh? You're rooting for...
Sai's rooting for Bleeding Lizards, that means he's a loser.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, rip.
Totally kidding, I actually... Any predictions? Any, like, whether it be wins, comps being run?
Comps? I foresee... Okay, so it depends. Curricular Score, I know, actually does a lot of Hammond. So I'm expecting to see a little bit of at least stalls, or maybe even some dives. Dragon goes back and forth between some support and DPS. So, and Icarus is the same thing with DPS and tank. So I'm expecting at least on that side. Block A, T-Broncos actually I'm probably expecting to see between Hanzo or Reaper. He actually showed a solid Reaper the other day. Blink, I'm expecting to be on Tracer.
Both teams are ready.
Blink's up for main tank. So
yeah.
if he's
oh,
Tracer
that's right.
main
He's
tank, then I'll be
filling.
concerned.
That is a good point. Ruby is a solid support. He's probably actually he from what I've heard, he's actually a great shot caller.
Yeah, I played in the game earlier with him where it was Amethyst versus Knights. Me and him both subbed for the Knights, and he was pretty much the main shot caller through the entire thing, calling out comps, rotations, pretty much everything. As for any standings, I think based off of play with multiple of these heroes, or these players.
Me can't talk in game chat.
Oh, shoot. Wait, really? Weird.
Is that pause worthy?
Oh, because... No, he's talking about in Discord game chat.
Okay. I mean, we can kind of live with that. Unfortunately, that is a small mishap, but...
But thanks for letting us know, because I'm going to correct that right now.
How is Arya supposed to 360 shatter on Moira? She's throwing.
So, in green, tealish, whatever color, we actually have the Bleeding Lizards, and then orange will be the True Alphas.
If they roll out with these comps, I very much have to give advantage to Lizards on this. Ball should get shredded by what's going on with Bleeding Lizards. But, I mean, I guess we'll see how things roll out. Bleeding Lizards opting to take the side room, move around to the... Oh, what an amazing hook from Curricular Score, hooking the Mei off of the map, putting them an entire person up for the first push. And a second hook from him, taking out Jake Man on the ball.
That is a quick first cap. Bleeding Lizards.
Yeah, they...
Not yet.
True Alpha seem to play a bit more passive, and Bleeding Lizards are just taking the fight straight to them, and no holds barred, pushing straight forward. Curricular Score getting walled off and killed immediately. They might be able to make something out of this fight, but down goes Block A, and they only got 3 people on point. Down goes Sith Lord, they currently do not have a healer. Blink is down, Ball looking for some stall, gets a pretty decent ult charge off that rollout. T-Broncos getting the pick onto Meek. But they do have to back out.
Greetings.
And Dragon on Hanzo got the pick on T-Broncos and is now disgracing his body, explaining that he is the better player.
See through the dragon's eyes.
And Block A has left the game.
He may have
Oh
DC'd.
no! Have we...
Meteor strike activating the barrier.
Meteor Strike doesn't find a good pick and actually gets him taken out by Jake. Shatter coming in, dropping a couple of members, and T-Broncos coming to finish up with the full damage. Coalescence to help push them through, but the Flux pulls them up, countered by the Zenyatta, keeping the team alive, and that's a flip even with the DC.
Wow, True Alpha is actually being able to pull it back even after the DC. Let's hope that Block A is able to rejoin, because I mean, secondary DPS is pretty crucial to be able to get those picks and getting the coordination and down. Like, I mean, right now I guess technically you can end up considering Hammond as another DPS or Zen as another DPS, especially the way that Ruby plays.
Beat should allow Bleeding Wizards to push in here. See if they can find anything while it's active. Dragons come in. Still not finding much. Fights are getting
Curricular
very
trying to actually, like, get some pick mid-point, but he's gonna get knocked out of the way. Taking out Blink. Next, focusing down that ball. They have now got no tanks on point. It looks like Lizards are able to actually take control. I mean, they are doing a perpetual 5v6, but
Clear impact area.
Score 0.
it's unfortunate that it is first point does happen to go to
Ready for battle.
Bleeding.
So Block A's internet went out, and that's what
He is
happened.
back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in
Meek
past...
and Blink.
Yeah?
Meek and Blink cannot talk in game chat,
See,
but that's
Meek
just
is
testing. I don't think it's that
interesting
big
because...
deal.
Sorry, give me
Yeah.
2 seconds here.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Meek should be now. It's probably because he's got separate roles, not just his sort of rules, not just his team.
Blizzards get to point, take over the area pretty quickly. Trothus playing a wider spread. So they do take out Curricular Score. Xanadite getting pretty low on the Sigma.
Blink getting taken out by Icarus real quick in the game. That means they're going to end up getting quick take on point. Oh, actually no, they're actually stalling still pretty hard.
Wake making a lot of space with the Maid Freeze.
Out comes
Dragon on top of the Coalescence finding a pick on the Lucio. The high mobility of some of these characters and then Dragon's been trying to rocket punch. I haven't seen him really land a one shot on a squishy yet. Looks like with that, True Alphas are going to be knocked off the point while the Bleeding Lizards take it.
Yeah. They take the initial control, but they get a couple
Very
staggers
aggressive.
actually. They get a couple staggers off of that. Between Block A and Ruby getting those kills afterwards, it's going to delay the ability to get back on point.
Not ready.
Both support ults coming up pretty quickly, or the defensive ults with the Lucio beat and the Transcendence, so this fight could be broken up in anybody's game. Probably be decided by a mistake instead of an ult.
Now we do end up having the first meteor strike come out, and it does pick off the Tom Trucker. Oh, sorry, no, it was Lucio that picked off Tom Trucker. Or sorry, wow, Zen that picked off Tom Trucker.
Wake gets the rocket punch onto End Dragon. Blink gets hit onto Zan. Mines her out. High Noon takes out Ruby. It looks like that is a flip over to the True Alphas. Curricular score over on the ball to help contest the Jake's ball.
Got
Does get a
T
pick on
Broncos.
Ruby.
Yeah. Broncos does have that Reaper
Incoming
ult.
the beat.
Lost it. Waiting for an opportune
Grab
moment.
Flux coming in, but the lamp is there to keep his team alive.
Waiting for that lamp to actually get out of there before he goes in for the ult, but doesn't get anybody picked off. Xanadite actually ends up punishing T Broncos and Don't Blink during that same moment.
Honestly, T Broncos Blossom there wasn't really near anybody, and there was a shield between the people that he had a possibility of hitting. So
I understand the idea of like
100% I think a wasted ult.
definitely. I think that like the idea behind waiting until the lamp was over was the entire intention there, but like very far away, wasn't a whole lot of people like high value targets that could actually do it, and the fact that there was still healing going on, you know, rendered it useless. And Dragon kind of
T Broncos over on the Soldier 76 now. Meteor Strike lands, does find Arya, but End Dragon follows up with his own countering
End Dragon.
the original Meteor Strike.
I thought End Dragon was gonna get hit by Ruby there.
High Noon gets a pick. Looks like they will hold. Map 1.
Victory. Play of the game.
Surrender to my will.
And first map does happen to go to Bleeding Lizards.
Arya with the 16 objective kills and 18 eliminations overall, stating that she is the DPS Moira of the game. There is a lot of let's go lizards.
Arya says she's gonna throw just for bacon.
There is no reason for you to throw. The DPS Moira is definitely the way to go.
Sure. Alright, next we will actually be moving over to a hybrid map, which is Hollywood. If you could actually grab a okay from both captains there in chat. What's going on Twitch at the moment there?
It's just
Arya's-
pretty much them going for lizards.
Oh shit.
Sort of going back and forth in the chat, lizard and alphas.
Ooh, I'm liking this. We got the lizards actually doing the lizard icon from Hanamura. That little cafe.
It's not a lizard. It's
What the
an
fuck is it?
amphibian.
Whatever. Bullshit.
It's a murloc. You should know these
That's
things
not
from your
a
World of
murloc.
Warcraft days. Yes, it is.
On Hanamura?
Yeah, it's a murloc in a spaceship.
Sure.
All right, chat. Let's
All
get
right.
the vote. Is it a
Do we got-
murloc
we got
or just a
polls
plain
going?
lizard?
All right, yeah. Give us your votes there, right, chat?
So far, we have 0 for murloc and 0 for lizard.
Hype.
And we have hype from Arya, so
Yeah, Murloc or lizard? Well, let's get some opinions here while we're getting set up.
Arya saying it's a dragon, that we're both wrong.
Of course. Okay, all right. You got a biased opinion here, being lizard, since you are the lizards. I do like the Ilian Stormrage icons from the Team Amethyst, since it's your purple color there.
But here's the thing. That means both of them have World of Warcraft themed things if it's a murloc. These people can shut up about it being a lizard, because we're going to ignore the chat now, because they voted wrong.
Okay, they did not vote wrong.
I didn't know that this was Jane's stream now.
This is what?
Jane's stream now.
What's Jane's? Well, why are you calling it Jane's stream?
We're
Because
taking a vote
Jane-
ignoring it.
yeah,
Every-
Jane
all
will sit there and say
Twitch-
that the chat is wrong.
all
and then
Twitch streamers do
go his
so.
own way.
Crispy, it seems you are the only one rooting for True Alphas.
Initiating match.
Look, I'll give it to you guys this time. It's a lizard. I will call it a lizard from this point on in stream, as long as I'm not being recorded. You guys know the true answer. All right, with Hollywood, I better see some actors and actresses. I want to see some showboating.
Some showboating would be fantastic. Do we ever actually
I would
confirming
make-
BMs actually
Ready or
on the
not.
table for this match?
I really hope so, otherwise Arya is banned. I saw some teabagging in game 1.
I think that
Oh.
it's okay. Because Block A let it happen last night, or yesterday,
Attackers incoming.
and I know Arya doesn't care.
Can you just confirm for me?
Yeah, I
Hey,
gotcha.
look, I'm in front of a fucking tree.
They're running some weird dive comp with Zarya. Over on Lizards.
Yeah. Weirdish.
No longer with Zarya, now with Paul.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I am the Senate.
Trucker Goats is no longer on the table. That is a non-222 comp unless you're going with the May Reaper variant. It's not truly goats. You do
Very
end up
scattered
seeing a
fight.
1-1 Res given on Zan, but at the same time, Dragon ends up getting taken out in the process. And Arya getting taken out right after. True Alphas does look like they may stabilize. Yeah. That was actually a really quick set of mines from Curriculum School.
Honestly, every single time I'm up against May Reaper, I just have to scream at my teammates to get off and dive.
Seriously,
It's a very hard matchup to play in.
bad matchup.
Well, it looks like they're going to make it work. That's 2 early picks, and now there are no tanks on the side of True Alphas.
Well, as long as you end up
There's
having
1K.
some pretty solid coordination when it comes to who your target prioritization is,
Can T
it can
Broncos
work.
put the team on his back?
Nope.
The answer is no. He will not just insta-stall by himself.
Doomfist being so meta right now is able to be hard carry. I've seen him in so many hands so far, and everybody is just wrecking.
Escort the payload.
This nerf cannot come sooner.
We're going to have 6 ults coming up right now for the Lizards right here versus the 5 for True Alphas.
6v5. Okay, here we go. We got End Dragon trying to use his as an escape.
Russ coming in on top of Rucker. Ruby getting a pick on Tracer, which is he has been used to all day.
Tracer not having a very good day.
But they have got quite a bit of movement on this card. Those fights.
It is, but I think at this point in time, it's more about like eating away at time.
Shatter coming in, dropping. Oh, jeez. Beat comes in to keep him alive, and we grab the Flux. Gets the Mercy. And Dragon getting the punch onto Ruby.
Link staying alive from this Tracer just harassing him.
And that's going to be an important hold coming through from True Alphas.
What am I paying you for anyways? Could you at least stand in frame? Might as well try and get my money for it.
Massive switch from End Dragon off of the Doomfist over to the Pharah, although the Mercy did get switched off to a Moira, so we'll see what kind of value can be brought out. Regular score getting
will
taken
not
out
let
by
me
the
go through
May
that wall.
Reaper.
They are doing a little poke battle right now, while the payload is actually getting pushed back a little bit. There are no hard flanks. We do have a May that's trying to end up getting into the back line. Out comes
And a
the
big
Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Ooh, getting at least like
Catches
3 of
2
them.
and forces people into bad positioning. Does get taken out while they do trade Zan for it. Coming the mines, pulling people in. But the double shield able to clear it out pretty quickly. Meek finding the pick on Zenyatta. Block A following up by killing the ball. Incoming high noon. Doesn't seem to find any. Shatter coming in, hitting 2.
Ooh, End Dragon getting taken out by a nice little icicle up in the top. Oh,
Massive beat from Trucker. Keeping his
Definitely.
team alive through the Blossom. Reaction time on that, impeccable. You can tell that he's a real gamer.
this out.
60 seconds.
Now, tanks are up front a little bit ahead. May end up being a little bit of a problem. Ooh, a solid barrage, taking out both tanks between Zan and Dragon. This is going to end up being a problem because they're not going to be able to sustain themselves during this final fight right before the final point, or sorry, the second point. They're going to actually get into the third. Yep. Ruby coming a little late with the trance in order to stall. They're going to end up. It does. They're going to end up needing to back out into the space zone, or set zone, call it, in order to continue surviving.
But seems like a bad place to do it unless he's going to swap off right here. Doesn't look like he is. As we move ourselves into the studio. Dan getting frozen and taken out by T Broncos. Then the immediate follow-up on Meek.
It does look like they're actually going with something like an insta like wipe combo with having the Junkrat for the final point. I mean, like once you get like right down to the final choke, or sorry, final few meters, like getting something that actually like, insta wipe like half the team is almost pretty cool. Otherwise, you just constantly have that stagger, draws everything out. You just want to get something to get it over with. Dragon grabbing
Blossom off to shut down the push for another. Mine's coming out yet again. He's getting mine extremely fast, but they just don't get very much value in that double shield. Although they do distract Blink enough for Meek to get the pick on him, and it looks like they're going to push farther into the studio.
Sith chasing down Icarus.
Doesn't let him,
Yep. Keeping themselves alive, getting Trucker out of it, getting their Reaper back up. Very close. He's just following both of their damage. If this Reaper and May keep going on a similar path, they should be able to just freeze and follow up with everybody, except for they've just split up. So,
with the overtime coming through and the Blizzard coming out, this is going to be a hard one to keep on point with, but looks like they might be able to backcap here. No block there. No. Point. Trance coming out to keep the team alive. Looks like at this point it's just a stagger fest. And Dragon gets the pick onto Blink before dying to Ruby. Sid wins the Moira 1v1. Broncos kills Curricular Score, and Meek goes down. Doesn't look like they'll be able to touch it. That is where they will hold to. While they didn't make it the full way, that was a pretty strong offense, considering
Definitely.
they were running ball into May Reaper, which you would expect that like farming ult might work, but even then up against double shield is going to clear out very quickly. I wasn't expecting them to get very much value out of it. Did a lot better than would be expected.
really was, and I mean, it's a good chunk of distance. Unfortunately, this just ends up meaning that like there's a really good chance that if True Alphas can actually make it past the second point, then they could actually even really take this. Like their defense is really strong, so they had a few mishaps, which really did cost them. If they can actually make themselves a little bit more cohesive, they could really actually take this map.
The ball coming through again from Curricular Score, and based on previous games, we're probably going to see the May Reaper again. Meaning that the only shield they're going to be running is on the Sigma, but from what I know, apparently Zan has been playing a decent amount of Sigma to help make up for how new the hero is. Ooh, not a May, that's a Sim and a May coming through, but see how that fares on offense. Sim Reaper. A pick.
The greatest enemy is that which lies within. Enemies in our orbit.
Teleporter
Looks like True Alphas are looking to teleport through that back alley. They did get spotted by Curricular, who's looking to displace the team and knock them up. Pretty decent charge off that, too. But incoming picks, tearing the team apart, and Dragon with 3 kills on his own. 4 final blows for Dragon in this fight alone. He can pick up the kill on T Broncos, it'll make it 5, but Curricular Score does get the final blow.
Overconfidence is
And it looks like they're going to switch off the sim, rethinking the game plan.
enemy bask in the shadow of doubt.
And Dragon playing very dangerous into the back line. So we can find a pick or escape safely. Looks like he chooses the escape safely off. Reaper Fire coming out, taking out the barrier of the Blizzard Sigma. Icarus getting taken down.
Instantly res.
Or coming through from Tom Trucker.
There's a lot of people on critical.
They got the pick on the ball, but they're going to have to regroup, so it doesn't seem they'll be able to make much out of it, considering how fast the ball came back.
Yeah.
This Lance doesn't seem to get a kill. Is looking to get out, but doesn't make it. Picked off by Ruby. Grab Flux doesn't seem to grab just Zan, who immediately follows up with a grab Flux. Doesn't seem to get any value out of it. Link gets the kill on Icarus. And it's like they'll have the point if they can keep the stragglers off. Critical Score frozen and killed. And Dragon making the choice, is he going to go in and stall or not? And it looks like he's not going to.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
The payload is on the way.
Oh, out of my way!
Barrier's about to break.
Free fight coming in, and Dragon almost getting picked off there, but doesn't make it out alive. He's setting up with a big high noon, and does get both of the tanks.
Both tanks in that. But are they able to stabilize with that trance? Probably not, because T Broncos just got taken out. Ruby, saves himself from Icarus in that last moment, but he does actually get revived.
Three picks coming in back to back to back from True Alphas, so looks like they'll get a nice push onto this cart. T Broncos looking for a TP up to high ground. Doesn't see. Never mind. Immediately finds the ball. T Broncos TPing back up to high ground, trying to contest the Vera from Dragon. Mine's coming in, and if they don't get a tank to touch, very close, only 3.23 meters here, but it looks like they're going to stall and hold here. This is a very hard area to push past because of the massive spawn advantage from the defensive side.
Most definitely. Their really only hope is actually occupying that high ground, I think, and then being able to take advantage of it. Like, not only hope, but I mean, their strongest hope. Occupying the high ground or do a split you have multiple angles that you can actually take right over top of where this point is, and it's one of those things where if you can actually take both high ground, right-hand side, or left-hand side at the same time, you're probably in a much better position, you have more options.
It looks like that's what they're gonna do.
And they are taking the left-hand side. Yep. Rock gets blocked. As they end up getting Curriculum to score out of the fight real quick, but Icarus ends up taking out Blink. Zarya is down. That does end up meaning the off-tanks are basically both out of the match right now, but then Blizzard comes out block A with a nice save.
Regular looking for the stall, but with the May Reaper coming through, you are not going to be able to survive long enough, especially with the Discord.
Especially if they're focusing too. And they do end up having half the team that are actually all spawning in the second spawn, so this might actually be really bad, because if they can actually end up getting a couple staggers on this, they could get some really quick pushes. They just gotta get aggressive. They should really get aggressive. Yeah, but
was the ball.
Even still, I mean, like, people are trying to reposition. It's not really a great spot on the right-hand side. If you could actually have ended up rushing in real quick and actually getting a couple quick picks while people are coming out, they may have actually got a really huge advantage. They still are looking like they've actually taken out both tanks right just now. And taking out Arya, she's trying to get the res off. They got 3 members that are no longer in the fight. They're able to actually end up pushing really aggressively on this, with a lot of time left on the bank. Taking out Tom Trucker, there's really only just a tank. If they actually end up getting super aggressive, they could actually end up... Ooh, they could stall him off point long enough. They could reset up.
Incoming the... Ooh, that was a big fair ult. But T-Broncos follows up with an ult of his own. Tom Trucker coming in with the Coalescence, like it's picked off by Tom Trucker, and that is the game.
We got a 1-1 going on. Let's hope this actually ends up being one of those back and forth games. We can get a tiebreaker out of this. Something to give us a little excitement for, right? Block A with a POTG. It's probably going to be the second point Blizzard. Yes, it is. This was definitely a winning push.
That snipe on the flying Pharaoh was insane. 10,000 IQ.
And when you think about it, this is still tier 3. That's even better part. 2,700 and below, roughly.
Players are getting better.
When your low tier is picking up their pace. Whew.
Just to confirm, they did say BM was allowed.
Bitchin', that's what I like to see.
That's what it stands for. Bitchin' manners.
And precisely. Excellent. We're going to one of the more despised maps, per se. Horizon Lunar Colony.
Meek in the chat with May Reaper. I feel that.
Not gonna lie, Horizon Lunar Colony being in this set is a reason why I actually really enjoy the fact that we actually have a buy this set.
What do you mean? You saw my Reaper.
Yeah, no, the Reaper's... I just not a fan of Horizon.
Right, this map too. Wait, is Paris in any of the sets?
Yes. No, the only one that actually got excluded, I think, is Dorado from any set. Because every single map has at least...
Both teams are ready also.
At least 5, I want to say. At least 5 maps, except for one type, being Escort, actually has a 6th. So it wasn't actually fair to have the random 6th in there for Escort for some maps and others, not whatever. We wanted to keep it even, so Dorado got excluded. That was about it. And
Dorado's a trash map.
It was voted on by a few captains, so... Alright, looks like we are getting this one underway. True Alphas will be on the defense first.
Traveling to Horizon Lunar Colony.
I swear, if either team picks a ball on this map, they're just throwing at this point. one of the absolute worst maps for ball unless you are specifically using it to counter the sim teleporter strat to push them off point right as they teleport.
You know, to counter sim
that-
strats where they're actually teleporting directly to point, half the time I like to prefer Mei, because you can just throw the wall up between point and where their teleporter lands. You just gotta sit there and wait for it. You can really fuck them up if you actually end up having the team on the other side of it too, because you can actually end up having them just push in and they're squashed between that wall. Especially on things like Hanamura, where a lot of teams like to go towards the directly to point or right up on that high ground. If you start up on that high ground with most of your team, it's pretty easy to actually do the pincer attack there.
Curricular Score moved over to DPS for this run,
Ooh.
while Endragon is going to be playing the tank. Any thoughts on MVP thus far?
Hard for me to really say. I mean, Ruby's been making a pretty good case for Alpha. Same thing with Block A. Yet again, like, Block A was one that I was actually debating on last time that I saw the True Alphas play.
Yeah, my thoughts were between Ruby and Block A on True Alphas, and then Tom Trucker.
Yes. No, Tom Trucker's been doing good.
Or
Icarus!
Endragon.
I was thinking Endragon actually for Alphas as well. Sorry, for Lizards with Tom Trucker at the same time. Right now, they actually ended up getting...
Backline is going to be dangerous.
Mei has started freezing some of their main tanks right off the hop as they start getting in. It actually spins them around. It splits them up. They're now actually having to end up focusing on two angles at the same time. They do actually happen to get a couple of picks off. This actually looks really good for the Lizards.
Back and forth fight.
Icarus does get picked off. Block A's picked off. Endragon, sorry, ooh. Yeah, no, this is actually basically going back and forth between picks. Unfortunately for True Alphas, Lizards have the spawn advantage. They're going to end up taking this pretty hard if they can't actually stabilize. Blink going down just ends up giving a really big lead for... I mean, first point on this map is a lot easier to take than anything. A lot of it comes down to how you do second point.
Look at how quickly Arya got ult there. Like, you would expect the Baptiste to be on par with that, or pretty close, which admittedly he is, but that's almost...
Steel got a
25%
fucking,
behind.
what, Coalescence within the first push. Like, that's fantastic. I mean, like, it could actually be a game changer because you're healing and damaging at the same time. Like, great way to start off.
Two picks on the side of True Alphas, and flanking Visor, seeing he can find any value on it, doesn't get the pick with Icarus on the Team Broncos. Looks like they're taking control of the point pretty quickly. And Dragon going in swinging. In comes the grab flux, but he's picked off. And Wizards are staying alive. This is a very, very fast push from them. They can cap it right here. It's all up to Ruby and T Broncos to hold it down. Ruby goes down, and T Broncos pull the 1v6. He rates off the point. They get the touch barely. The shatter hits nothing, and they move off. 4 minutes and 17 seconds left is a massive time bank from the Lizards here. They've shown that this is their map, regardless of if they're going to run the May Reaper or not.
And May Reaper is going to be a real strong defense if they can actually end up getting that sword off.
Honestly, I think that entire push goes all the way back to Arya's Coalescence. Like, if they didn't use that, get it immediately to cap point 1 that quickly and just steamroll it all the way into point 2 with their ult advantage,
It's true. They actually had a lot of ults online during that that second push, and they really didn't have to use anything during the first, exception to the coalescence.
I do see a Bastion, and I'm disappointed in you guys.
let's. Hey, you know what? Frankly, people do what they need to in order to win.
Just kidding. Shock used Bastion to beat Titans 4-0.
It's true.
Anybody else want to talk about that in the chat?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Hurry up about
Looks like true alphas are going to end up going with interesting route. Rock comes out and just goes right into shields. Blink ends up having almost none of his shield left by the time he actually gets into blue. They gotta regroup. They gotta find a way to actually get themselves all together before they can actually go anywhere.
It looks like they're looking for the regroup into blue right there.
It does, but they're actually wasting probably a little bit of resources, time, all that stuff just to make sure they get everybody. Did they lose anybody on the way to blue? Right now it looks like they've actually started going without their tank, which actually really ends up making T-Broncos get killed because they got blocked off with the Mei.
It's going to be a very hard area to push into. I'm surprised they're not trying to take a wider strat and just go straight to point. Although it looks like that's what they're doing, funneling over to point. They're setting up the Bastion on the high ground, but it's too late. They've already taken control of the point with the Mei.
As this does end up forcing people to actually end up like transition, and a lot of times our elo, or this elo, does actually happen to have a problem when it comes to their transitions.
The Bastion is dead.
This
Broncos takes him out.
Precisely what I'm talking about is the transitions that are getting sloppy because you end up having things like your key focus being keeping that Bastion alive. He's gone out of the point. Now you got two tanks on point with nothing to support them.
Honestly, this seems pretty weird, but I think the play here, considering it's such a scrappy fight, is to send somebody to go spawn camp that Bastion and not let him reset. But it looks like they're going to give it to him. They might be able to make it on par. Point 2 is much harder to take, so...
It is. And they don't have quite the advantage going into it that that the Lizards did have.
Especially with that DC.
Ooh, this is unfortunate.
Okay, it's out again.
Enemies in our area.
Alright. Lizards, you can tell me which one of you is DDoSing. Blink gets the pin on the end, Dragon follows over the pin of his own. Curricular Sword not turning around to kill the Rhine that's on him, and he gets picked off by a Rhine.
End Dragon, 9 health left, fearing to come to point, but he gets a nice solid fucking shatter off, which does end up saving the point for his team.
And unfortunately, I think they hold that because of the 5v6.
Never going above 67% HP during that. Like, oh my god. He's at 9 health, comes out with a shatter. Gets basically the remaining True Alpha team members. And only gets pulled up just a little bit while he starts fire striking and swinging and actually saves the point.
Broncos coming in with the Death Blossom, gets 2 before dying. Unfortunately, it looks like they're not going to be able to get the group fight going without the blockade hard carry that we've been talking about. Although he is back with 3 minutes to spare, he might be able to get himself taking the point. They're getting a pretty good push here, though. Jake Mann with a big grab flux. Curricular Score following up with the configuration tank, the response from forward to... Oh geez, are they going to take this point? Rez comes in but gets discorded, fire striked out. Sigma's going to try to come in and stall, but is going to get pushed very quickly by Team Broncos and Blink to try to push him off the point. And Dragon coming in with the pin, gets it on to Jake Man. Meat coming in with the Doom Fist. The solo shatter goes down. Coming in with that stall, 2 CP time here to shine. Looks like they might be able to retake the point and hold it. Massive shatter coming in, getting 5 members of the team. And the grab flux to follow up, might be able to finishes off the Reinhardt, the immortality field down, holding the team to life, even though Jake Man is in the back line. The Broncos in the back with the Transcendence coming in with Ruby, but does find a kick onto there, and Block A has left the game again. They're going to have to win this now, or they might not be able to win it at all.
By the way, Tay, are you able to actually see if you can actually find a DPS sub potentially for Block A?
I can sub if it's needed.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. T-Broncos may end up needing to leave, so if you could still search while you're subbing for them.
Okay, yeah, I'll be looking. So we need support and DPS?
Yes.
Both are DPS, aren't they?
Yeah, both are DPS actually.
Okay.
Block A actually did join the game right now, but looks like he's having connection troubles. He's asking if we can find a DPS sub for them. And then T-Broncos is going to need to be subbed out with someone, so if you could try and find that while you're while we're waiting for this
I'll
to
offer a sub, but unfortunately I am cast.
Yeah, and then talking to myself would be a little awkward.
Dude, I've got a motor mouth. You want me to talk to myself? Total sarcasm, please don't make me.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Rager, what's your SR? Message Tay on the Discord.
5, 4,
Please and thank you.
2, 1. Attackers.
It has to be within the tier 3 range. What was the SR that he gave?
2100.
Oh, perfect.
2100.
And then add the Apollyon League PS4 PSN account if you can.
Coming in with a ball on the attack from Jake Man. They are running the May Reaper, very typical from them, although they're following up with the May Reaper from the side of Lizards for this defense. Ball coming in, displacing. Getting a little bit of ult charge before escaping. Trading 1-for-1 for the Sigma for the May.
Sith trying to take out Arya. She's getting off that res on Zan. Now they got the tanks back in line. It's just going to end up being a matter of if they can actually end up out-damaging the tanks before the supports get back.
Pendragon's been showing off his skill on this Reinhardt, getting some massive hits.
Tom coming out with a solid coalescence.
Again, with the coalescence at first point, deciding the game and how quickly it's going to be ended. Although it does get taken out with a very aggressive positioning. Followed up with the pin on the Ruby, and the Blink Shatter coming in. Throws it by Block A, and the Death Blossom doesn't find any, and they cannot touch the point.
Oh, this is going to be interesting because that's 4 minutes just to get 33%. That's a good chunk of time. Especially with how quickly they were able to get the first round cap.
Alright. If, Tralphers are listening, which you shouldn't be, shame on you if you are. Cancer, Tom. You gotta hold for 4 minutes there, bud.
Ready for battle.
Everything to stall as possible.
If I were to make a guess, they're running exactly what they're showing, the May Reaper.
Yep.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Although to be fair, maybe instead of the Zen, I might actually have gone with something like Lucio or Mercy or Bap. In this
Bap would've been my
scenario,
choice.
Bap would have been the fantastic choice. Lucio only because you actually had the people to actually get get back to point ASAP. Depends on where they decide to choose to hold, which looks like it's directly on point in the back
Dragon
side
attempting
here.
to kill himself. Does get topped up from the Ana. Spicy plays coming in from Arya.
Not really, because I mean, whew,
And
not really giving you any charge from doing that. He injured himself before map started, and yeah. They do teleport right up to high ground, so they're gonna actually have the high ground advantage. So they're gonna be able to just throw in turrets, throw and drop down. They're just gonna charge right into this. Oh, we got Blink goes right into the fray, and Block A is yet again BC'd. It is unfortunate. Blink does charge them out.
Going to get the
He's staying alive though. What is this?
What a play from these supports and the follow-up from T Broncos to help him.
Even with the DC, they exactly with the 5v6, they end up holding. This is the crazy stuff we like to see.
They do get free control of the high ground again, but something that kind
Ball
of has
getting
to
out.
give it up when you're holding forward.
Out comes the ante. Nobody following up.
They whittled down a minute and a half. If they continue holding, Blink showing off his play on this Reinhardt. I'm actually quite impressed. I haven't seen too much of this Reinhardt play from my perspective.
Ooh, the Icarus gets picked off. Does cost Blink though. That is a major loss. And we got Nano that's on board, given to the Sigma. That's going to be lethal. We're talking about like what, 180 almost a shot now?
Block A has joined the game, but
Is it going to be too late? That is the big question. Is it going to be too late? They do look like they're actually somewhat stabilizing a little bit, but ooh, that's only if people can actually get to point.
Blink coming in with the pin, and Xanadite does have to turn around touch point, can't finish off the kill, gets
Does
shattered
not
before
finish it off.
dying.
Jake taken out, and that does give True Alphas a second game.
Coming in 2-1 for Bleeding Lizards, and we go into a map 4, see if we can get it out to a map 5 True Alphas.
Play of the game.
Jake Man with the Sigma play of the game. And Oreo, it is based off of career high from roll queue beta forward, so if you had been above that on support at any point in time, unfortunately you would not be able to sub for tier 3. And usually it's an issue anyways, typically because subbing someone from a higher tier lower is going to be an issue. Tom Truckers also left the game but is back.
What is up, Twitch streamers? It's your boy Skinny Penis. We're back at live at Small versus Madden 1025 2K.
I've just muted him.
Yeah, we are. Oh, Oscar, it was nice knowing you. Okay, Oscar, I'm gonna give you a trivia question. If you can get it right, you can pass.
He cannot.
So the trivia question is: 3 men are walking down a road. The road is very, very, very long, and all three men have guns. The first one pulls out a gun and asks Santa Claus if he can have it for Christmas. And during that time, Santa Claus tells him no, so he immediately shoots himself in the foot and turns around and leaves. The second man asks Rudolph for a ride on his back, and Rudolph flies him to the moon, which then he suffocates and dies, but is resurrected by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ before he's brought back down to Earth and admittedly taken back to life. And the third man, as we all know, is Icarus himself. So the trivia question is, what is my favorite color? Unfortunately, that is wrong. My favorite color is purple, so you're gonna have to leave.
It's okay, he's muted anyways.
Yes. Yes. My favorite color is 5. Thank you, Oreo.
Tom Trucker just also left the game? What? Except for he's right here, so I don't get it. Who else left? We got Blockade that left. And T Broncos have left, so I've re-invited Tay. So I'm hoping that that ends up being the last one that we need.
Hey, John.
Yo.
Are you gonna deal with the Oscar situation?
What do you mean? I've dealt with it. He's muted.
Did you mute him?
Yeah.
Okay. He responded with, "Did that bitch mute me?"
Yes.
And John responded with, "Yes." No, they couldn't hear you to begin with, to be honest.
Oh, when he first came in, I'll guarantee they could. Like does Twitch streamers? Probably. Okay, it looks like we're actually waiting on one person to restart their PS4. They got DC'd and they're having troubles connecting, so they're actually restarting. We'll actually end up getting the final map on the way in a few moments. I will almost hit add AI.
Alright, and for the time being, while we wait, Twitch chat, let's have some conversation. How has your day been, honestly? Has anybody else watch the Overwatch League? See everything that went on? Okay, honestly, Twitch chat, I would recommend just ignoring Silence Crayola.
Can they hear him still?
Probably. No, he's messaging in Twitch chat now.
Oh.
I don't think Titans are bad. I do have to say, like, yeah, they got 4-0'd by Shock, but, like, so did literally everybody else. Yeah, Blockade, that was really unlucky from your end, having internet issues. You guys were holding pretty well when there weren't any issues from it.
Just means that, in future, sort out your internet, B.
Okay, so you guys can't see it because I know when notifications pop up, it's just a little black bar. Silence Crayon joined the party because it was left open.
Because
Which
I'm
it
an
was
idiot.
immediately
And,
changed
you know.
to not be left open. And he was muted because on a scale of 1 to 10, he's an idiot.
It's just unpredictable and not going to be helpful.
That's very true. Unpredictable is probably the perfect word that's ever been said about silence. Thank you for continuing to prove the point silently. The stream can't hear you.
In theory. I actually don't know. I'm not listening to the actual stream. I have it muted.
John cannot hear you because you are muted.
Well, I have him muted, but I don't have the stream muted, so I don't know if the stream's actually hearing him or not. Is there actually anybody in the stream hearing him? Okay, perfect.
Because I'm a big brain gamer, dude.
Is he able to hear me?
I'll explain it to you afterwards. And stream can hear you, John. Stream can hear me. It just can't hear Oscar.
I just mean, can Oscar hear me?
Oscar cannot hear you.
Okay. That works.
Oreo. That team did not disappoint anybody simply because the expectations were low. Like, cool, they had a nice run in Stage 4. They did beat the Shock. But, like, that was really all that they did for their showing. The meta switched and they came out with some surprising things. They threw some people off guard, but as soon as they place against a team that's above their caliber with the Spark, of course they're just going to get shut down.
It was a disappointing match, though, just because of the fact that, like, you think that in the grand finals that you'd actually have more than just 4 matches when it's best out of 7. But I mean, at the same time, we're talking about a team which is unprecedented in any fucking esport, where excuse me, I'm actually having like cough in my throat. Nobody's actually had a run where they've actually like not lost a map. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's honestly just an insane run from them. Although, can we get a ready up from both teams, as we do have everybody here?
We have the ready from one captain. We are waiting for the sub to get an invite to the party or group so that we can actually move along with True Alphas. It looks like Tay has not actually been put into the group. I'm just waiting for the okay from them.
Also, Aria, if you are listening, can I get a cool, like, hey yo in chat? Because call out. Hear me out. Put me as a mod. I would do a great job.
Okay, they are now good.
I've got a big brain. I've got a small penis, and those are 2 very important things.
Definitely. The small penis means desperate.
Exactly. Hey, John, have you seen Twitch chat? Because Oreo is talking crap about the Toronto Defiant.
Ho! Well, let me get back into this. I'm not gonna lie, Toronto Defiant is actually pretty bullshit, but...
You were supposed to not say that.
But the funny thing is they have Mangachu is amazing. Logix is amazing. The thing is, the rest of the lineup is and they can't get supported quite as well. And it also came late in the season when they got some like really good players. Mangachu being able to actually get a lot of like the top streamers, pro players on his fucking Torb Hammer list. He's got a full-on list. The fact that he's got a whole bunch of them on his list shows it. And 2, he's been in a top 3 team for the World Cup. What, 3 years in a row? No, 2 years in a row. Mangachu is only in the last 2, or is he on the last 3?
You didn't put roll lock on. There's 3 damage dealers. If you leave spawn with 3 damage dealers, you ban.
Yep, I am actually... Nope, I am restarting this match. Show lobby. You do not
Nah,
come
dude,
back.
they're good.
Did they correct it?
They switched.
Okay.
They
I was
corrected
gonna
it.
say I was going to fucking restart that lobby. This is not. We initiated 2-2-2. So it looks like we do actually have Rager, who's coming in with his Doomfist, trying to actually get a quick pick, but he's really by himself on the low ground.
Blink were with him, but unfortunately the biggest issue with it was Blink is on Sombra. His mid fight's going to be relatively close to hot garbage. Although what a pick from Jake Man sniping Arya in the back line. And then Sith Lord winning the Widow 1v1 against Icarus on the Baptiste.
See, this is actually kind of interesting because Rager, like, there's a friendship between Rager and Arya that I knew about from the past. So, them being on rival teams at the moment, it's a really interesting matchup. It'd be basically like you and me, like on opposite teams. Like we were subbing for opposing teams.
Yeah, you're right. It would be kind of like that, except that.
Because we would probably be trying to focus each other just for shits and giggles.
You mean every time I focus Blink today?
Mm-hmm. Oh. If it wasn't for the fact that you already had, like, you and somebody else from our team was actually focusing Blink when we played them. If it wasn't the fact that we already had two people focusing, it was like, okay, we can't have a third person trying to focus them. Oh, it was Tank.
Dragon showing his presence, diving into the backline with the Reinhardt shard, taking control of the area, and 3 down by the hammer. Or, you know, the axe, because he's got the axe skin.
It's funny because N-Dragon, like, usually I see him as the tank. When they were Deus Vault last season, I think I saw him as a tank a little bit more often than I saw him on damage. And they did so much better while he was on tank.
He is a
he's not a bad damage. It's not that. I just think it's just like his tank is far superior. Because he actually had some pretty good Widow duels that he actually had going on, and
Miser came in, immediately hacked and picked off by Blink. What a massive play. EMP coming in with the Meteor Strike, and they just get the full team wipe. What a set of abilities being used.
I wish
honestly,
I caught more of that.
like, a lot of damage came through from people, but that fight got put on the back of the Sombra. Shuts down the tac visor and then immediately gets the EMP. Just huge plays. Sorry, Wex. Looks like they're taking control of the high ground. Except for Zan, he's fallen to the low ground. And he gets hacked and immediately shut out.
That's the place to take, but yeah, when you end up having somebody like a key shield, like the Sigma, get like falling off, getting picked out because he's wrong position, just devastating. Like, this is actually going to cost them this fight. Like, we already have Rager who's like punishing N-Dragon right now, and he's actually, oh, if you end up seeing that charge, that charge ends up actually like not only bumping Rager, but he ends up bumping him right back into the path of the charge.
Nano coming in onto the Genji, probably.
N-Dragon looking for a solid fucking shatter. Like he's pushing forwards for it. You can tell he's about ready to go for it. There we go with the shatter, and he ends up getting a nice.
Shatter becomes a mess. You're right. He's getting shut down by Rager.
There was zero follow-up. There was zero follow-up on that. It was unfortunate. He was forward by himself. Well, not quite by himself, but nobody ends up taking advantage of the fact that he had a huge shatter. I don't know whether it's a communication issue or whether it was just positioning issue, but
only a couple people left alive, but Sith Lord doing his job with the Baptiste keeping his mortality out. Ruby comes back, he's made it big. Continue with the stall tackles.
Oh, Rager with the double pick. Icarus and Curricular score. He gets picked off himself, but...
should end the fight. There it is. Ginger Healer pushing herself forward with the Orisa. Playing the aggro. Let me tell you, when your tanks have a pocket, they can play.
You are advised to move behind
Ranger coming in with the assassinations.
The
Out of abilities,
bongos.
but makes that alive.
Bongo's helping to take out Zan. We do actually have a few people behind the point. We have Ant that's actually taking out their other shield. They have no shields at the moment. And pulls right into it. This is going to take out both their tanks. They got to hope that they can actually end up taking over this control. They got 20 seconds left on the clock.
This was such an insane hold from these guys. Coming out of nowhere, they got rolled over on point 1. Seeing as this Sombra just couldn't get any value, but now it's taking over the game. The supports have been playing like absolute monsters, keeping the team alive for everything. You got the pick on Sith Lord. This fight might be winnable, and there goes Ginger Healer, the main tank down. Icarus getting traded out though. But
No,
so
both
is Rager and Jake both dropping.
Those are both tanks gone.
Looks like they'll cap this point.
That was
Increased timing.
clutch.
Unfortunately, that's 2 people being close spawned. Let's see if they know about it and can take advantage of it. Tay is currently trapped. And she's being
She's being haunted by the Doomfist and the
a huge
McCree.
stagger.
That's
They're
a
not gonna be able to reset
horrible
for another
stagger.
15 seconds.
It's going to be one of those things. Yeah, their next fight is going to be directly at the bridge. There's no question about it. They're not going to be able to do any fights near the turn itself. They're not going to have time.
Blink is switched over to the Reaper. He's trying to apply pressure to the front line, hold the Cypher. Doesn't seem like they're trying to take advantage of it anyways. So here he comes. Reaper score with the high noon. Doesn't seem to get anything.
Icarus still
Icarus.
picking off. Oof. Tanks, don't blink, gone. Icarus now gone.
Comes Meteor
This is
Strike.
this is going to be the final point. It's going to come to this final point. That Shatter getting absolutely nobody.
Curricular with a double. Keeping his team in it, even though there's been a Reaper harassing him.
Dude, Sith Lord is fucking keeping the team alive as all hell. Out comes Trance. Out comes... Oh! And the Coalescence is stunned out! No! Can Sith Lord stall? No, he cannot.
Lord's out. Rager's out. They've only got
Ginger's
all
on their way out. Messes up the actual exit. They got it in overtime. Getting it in overtime is actually not as bad because the fact that you have a lot of time to actually deal with, and if it turns out that you actually end up having to go into a second round for each team, you have the additional minute if you actually get any bonus time. So it is the best of worst case scenarios for true alphas, because this could actually end up giving them the ability to go into a map 5.
That accretion might have just got them that point. Like, stopping the coalescence, which immediately causes the team to die.
Yes.
Like, that accretion was pog.
Most definitely.
Alright, I said it before, I'll say it again. Let's see some dive. We're on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Give me a Winston. That I do know that
we gotta hope that they actually have the ability to, like, I know Rager actually is a little bit of a dive player. Not at least, none in the least. It's gonna be you need a hand getting over that. Okay, I'll be right back. I just need to actually do a quick lift. You take over.
Okay guys, I have immediately been put in charge and that was a mistake. So instead of watching the rest of this game, because I can't actually move the camera from the perspective that it's watching. We're going to watch this bridge, and I'm going to watch it with you. So if anything interesting happens on this bridge, I'll let you know. So we've got kill feed and bridge.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. My will made me stop.
And we get to see the Ash. And he's returned, so we might be able to watch more than just the bridge.
Yes.
We got a couple of quick picks on this defensive side, so they're able to hold it pretty well.
So they're going with what it looks like to be a Hammond dive, which is an interesting choice. Dragon getting booped out of position. He's actually in a really risky spot, but he does actually manage to get out of it live.
Arya gets picked off. There goes Sans. They might be able to make some headway with this.
Ruby taking out Curricular. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like from what we were talking about earlier about how Curricular was, Ruby was a major shot caller. I'm pretty sure Ruby is making a lot of shot calls actually at this point in time, and it shows that, you know, Ruby really knows what's going on the field at any given time, like behind them, in front of them. It's a crucial part of any team.
What a massive beat keeping the team alive from Civ 4. They get the point, they weren't able to touch. So now it's just going to be a little bit of a mess for cleanup, but they've got the respawn, so overall this is just going to be a one fight, whether it takes a little bit or a long bit for true alphas, and it looks like they might be making a comeback with the subs. Tom Trucker got caught out from the staggers, so they're going to get a lot of free value off this, putting 3 on card. Base has been taken. Comes to grab Flux, only gets Blink, and he is taken out. That's a pick for the team. Although Bob comes in into the backline, probably here to shut down Ruby, which it does. Arya pocketing Bob with the aimbot. Looks like they'll have the hold. Ninja Healer in the backline with the Zarya. Not too high energy, but high enough to be a nuisance, and is taken out quickly. Honestly, this has been such a good match. Like, based off what I've known from both teams, they've been playing very, very well against each other.
Get in there.
Tired, looking for people to hit. Does take out Sith Lord and Ranger, leaving very little follow-up to the grab that was thrown out. Dragon diving in, but he's discorded and is being pressured by multiple people. If he doesn't get help, he can die here. He immediately gets the follow-up, but instead of falling back, he pushes harder. Ball coming in, looking to take things into his own hands, but is immediately taken out by Zan while Dragon falls from the aggressive push without his team. Probably some miscoordination. Unfortunate bit of defensive ults for Lucio and the Zenyatta using defensive ults at the same time. Not there to protect against the mob or the Dramatic Flux. Out comes the res. And looks like they might be able to hold here with the big... I'm running out of words, guys. Anybody else want to cast? Here, let's watch Twitch chat. What are you guys casting? Come on, lizards. Stop them. Huge. Yeah, you guys are doing a better job than I am. I'm running out of words.
Not yet.
Blink recalls immediately into getting headshot by Icarus, who's using the tactical crouch on him. Seeing as we are a little late in the stream and we're setting up for a new fight, just a friendly reminder to give everybody the heart. Give us a follow, that way you can see when we come online. Hit coming out onto End Dragon there, again with the aggressive Reinhardt getting shut down. Zan being left as the solo tank for the team. Riptire coming in, does get the pick on the Ginger Healer. Blink kills Icarus, and I didn't see a teabag, but it might be because they're in the middle of stuff. Immediately gets taken out by End Dragon. They've only got 44 seconds to touch the point, otherwise they're going to get help.
Get into position.
But as I was saying, make sure you hit the little heart icon. Give us a follow, that way you know when we're online. Get the stream going, watch more games. Feel free to donate or subscribe. Is that the word for it? I think it's, yeah. It's subscribe. That last second ult battle, everybody throwing stuff down. Big shatter from End Dragon, but immediately followed up with the trance. Not able to keep up with End Dragon on the pin, but End Dragon gets taken out by Big Man. Looks like they might be able to make a push out of this, but Bob comes in with the A-Pod, shutting down Ruby again. Melting fire into the tanks. Regular score with the Shire. Gets 3. This is a massive game changer, but Rager takes him out. 1v1 on the point between Rager and Zan. Let's see who can finish it off. Ball makes it back to point. Moira might be able to touch, but isn't able to make it, and that means that the map is going down. Message for the YouTube. Oh yeah, make sure you go to the YouTube channel. It is Apollyon League on YouTube as well, and you can get all of the videos on demand there and get the recast of each one. And I do believe that that makes it 3-1 for the Lizards. Alright, John, you here? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Wow, I have actually had my mic on mute.
It's okay, I spoke enough for the both of us. Do you have a vote on MVP then?
Ooh. It is really tough on this one, actually.
I have to agree.
Like, End Dragon, when he swapped off onto tank, End Dragon was doing phenomenal. Icarus, Meek is somebody who I see being somebody that it's not necessarily a carry, but an integral part of any team. Anytime he subs. Rager on this map was actually really intense, at the beginning at least. And then Ruby Rod, it just all the way through. It's really hard. Ariandel actually ended up doing like some fantastic stuff actually on the Anna. That was where I actually got really shocked.
Well, if you look at Twitch chat, we have 1 vote for Arya, 1 vote for Zan, and Meek voting for Meek.
Oh, of course.
Although
Meek.
my vote also has to go to End Dragon on this one.
End Dragon, I think, is where I feel that was one of the biggest impacts I think in the turnaround. I mean, we can end up seeing if we can actually bring End Dragon in on a quick little interview if we actually end up feeling that's our choice for MVP. If End Dragon accepts, we'll take a look, because I have to say that was one of the bigger turnarounds that I actually felt for the entire map. And I do not see End Dragon as a person to invite, unless it's based off of like his real name, and that really fucking doesn't help. Sure. I'm good with that just because, frankly, at this point, I can't find Dakota in the league.
Just invite him to the party.
I can't. It's not working.
Just throw him invites then. Throw him all invites. Whoever joins first is MVP.
Whoever ends up.
My vote would have had to be Dakota. He was putting in a lot of work on the Doomfist, and then even once he swapped over to Reinhardt, he had some hyper-aggressive plays that left him out for free picks and such, but overall he created space.
Definitely.
Arya, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, Arya.
That the first one to make it in here would be MVP. Congratulations. We have completely vetoed our votes, and you made it first.
Dude, everyone was so confused.
From what?
We were all like, wait, who got MVP? And then I was like, they sent me a party invite.
No. We were torn between N-Dragon.
He's here now, too.
Perfect. I sent a bunch of invites out. N-Dragon was actually our main choice for MVP because the fact that his turnaround, because, well, it was one of those things where there was a definite difference from when you guys had your main tank as somebody else to when N-Dragon took over as main tank. There was some great stuff that you yourself did, like when you were as Anna, as I was mentioning. Meek is always a fan favorite. I feel that he's like an integral part of any team, regardless whether he's subbing or whatever. Agreed. So it was one of those things where it's just like N-Dragon, his change over to main tank was actually probably the biggest impact I felt.
One big thing I do want to point out from you, Arya, on the Horizon Lunar Colony, your immediate coalescence on the first attack to essentially win you guys that map with over 4 minutes left, that was massive. Anything to say about that?
Mm-hmm.
That was, honestly, that was a straight panic ult. that wasn't planned whatsoever. I pressed triangle and I was like, "Ah, fuck," and just kind of went with it.
I love those off fuck moments.
Oh, we had quite a few of them.
No, but it was pretty solid. There was a lot of close moments throughout this. How are you guys feeling throughout
Rager
it?
just complimented Dakota's charges. He
Yeah.
just came in here and complimented them.
I wish we could have a stat tracker because I want to know how many pin kills you got on there, Andrea.
Yeah.
That was massive.
I have no clue.
They were good.
I think that was a big reason. It's like we ended up seeing like a lot of charges going on from both sides, but like yours were the ones that were actually more they were bigger impact, right?
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, the pun very intended.
I hate you.
Everyone does.
Me and my league son.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. By the way, you guys have fun this day?
There you go.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys took the win. There were definitely some back and forth matches. Very close game, despite it being a 3-1. That doesn't really explain the whole picture. You guys had some good holds, and so did True Alphas. Both you guys were playing very well, but you guys came out on top. So, any final parting words?
Wonderful
Even
weather
with
ahead.
Dakota, no.
Sorry.
Even with both teams having super bad internet issues, like we had 2 people with 1,000 ping the whole game.
Yeah.
Circular and Tom had like they couldn't do much, but it was good. I'm happy with that game. Alphas did really
It was
good.
fun.
They really
Definitely
did.
fun. During Hollywood, I completely went AFK at one point, and it kind of costed us that game.
That May play of the game, Dakota wasn't even here.
Yeah,
Super
that was
unlucky.
a fun time.
Well, hey, congratulations on your guys' win today. And yeah, I think at this point this would be where we would call it a GG for you guys, putting you guys up 3-1 over the True Alphas. So Bleeding Lizards do take the win today. Congratulations.
GG boys.
Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, any closing words for us there, Guardians?
No, I think that
Unmute
actually
your
closes it for tonight. Sorry, I'm taking a bite of my food, okay?
Nom nom nom.
I was in the middle of
That's your
swallowing at
closing
that point in time.
words.
Nom, 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 nom.
Right.
No, yeah, no, I think that closes it for tonight. I don't think we have another game in the week itself.
Is there one Tuesday? Do you have one Tuesday?
I don't have
Or
one
is there not one
Tuesday.
till next weekend?
So I'm not ready.
Ours is not until October 6th, our next one.
Okay.
And I think we're the only Tuesday games is Northbourne, so...
I have the best parting words to end the stream for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
They're actually gonna come from Dakota.
Wait.
Dakota, what's my favorite thing for you to say?
Is it what I think it is?
It's the Nas.
Na na na.
That's our entire comms. If anyone ever wants to know what we're saying during league games, that's it. That's all we do.
Na na na.
We're all sitting there going na na na.
Super insightful from and
Yes,
Dragon
it
there.
took me a while to think about it.
And our next game will actually be on October 4th.
Friday?
Yep,
Friday.
it'll be Cloud9 and Mighty Fluffsters at 9 p.m. Friday.
All right,
That'll be like
So
that's like in like 2 days, I think.
No, that's
that
in like
is
5
like
days.
5 days.
Close enough.
Do you know what time of the what day of the week
5.
it is? Do you have school tomorrow?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he
Wednesday?
does.
Is it Wednesday?
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I'm gonna finish my food, so you guys have an excellent night. Everybody on the stream. I'm eating fajitas. No, I'm picking the onions out right now of my fajitas. So, oh, they're delicious. Anyways, everybody have yourselves an excellent evening. We will see you Friday.